So, dear students, basically I have started here a lecture series for CSIR NET, GATE and MSc entrance aspirants. I will discuss only 40-50 hot topics from which you will get 10 to 15 questions in your competitive exams for CSIR NET and GATE. And these topics are also important for MSc students. So, in the first video lecture, I will discuss Nephel auxetic effect. This is very important topic. This is a very important topic for competitive exams. Mostly questions from GATE are asked. Questions from Nephel auxetic effect are asked in GATE exams. But in CSIR NET exam, once a 2-mark question has also been asked. But I hope in the coming examination, a question of 2 mark or 4 mark will be definitely there. Actually, this what this Nephel auxetic effect is. Let us discuss it. बेसिकली हमारे पास जो भी आयन होता है फ्री आयन वी हैव अ फ्री मेटल फ्री आयन इन गैसेस फेज free ion in gaseous phase. A free ion in gaseous phase has lot of inter-electron repulsions. There are inter-electron repulsions. There are inter-electron repulsions or electronic repulsions. There are large number of electronic repulsions in a free metal ion when it is in gaseous phase. There are large number of repulsions in a free ion when it is in gaseous phase. What I mean by this, if we have a free ion, for example, we have halide ion, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, or we have cyanide ion, we have oxalato ion, or we have NCS ion. If we take these ions in gaseous phase, there are large electron repulsions in gaseous phase when these ions are in gaseous phase. Now what happens if a complex is formed, if we treat these metal ions with these ions with metal, then what happens? This is metal, then complexation takes place, means metal ion complex is formed. We get metal ion complex. Now this metal ion complex is formed basically because of interaction of metal with these free gaseous ions. Now see, whenever a metal ion complex is formed, what happens? There occurs reduction in inter-electron repulsions. Reduction in inter-electron repulsions. Reduction in inter-electron repulsions. What happens on complexation? Reduction in inter-electron repulsions take place. Reduction in inter-electron repulsions takes place. This reduction in inter-electron repulsions, when a free ion complexes to form metal ion complex, it is known as Nephel auxetic effect. Now, what is this Nephel auxetic effect? It is basically reduction. It is reduction in inter-electron repulsions. In inter-electron repulsions. It is a reduction in inter-electron repulsions when a free metal ion. It is reduction in inter-electron repulsions when a free metal ion. When a free metal ion. When a free ion, sorry, not metal ion. When a free ion such as ligand complexes with metal. When it complexes with metal. Basically, what I mean by this, when we have a free ion in gaseous phase, there are large number of repulsions, and when we treat it with the metal, complexation takes place, bonding takes place, overlapping takes place, electron clouds get diffused, overlapping between the metal orbitals and the ligand orbitals takes place, and that overlapping leads to the reduction in the inter-electron repulsions. This reduction in inter-electron repulsions, when on complexation of the free ion, it is known as Nephel auxetic effect. This reduction is known as Nephel auxetic effect. But what we have to discuss from competitive exam point of view, on what factors does this Nephel auxetic effect depend? How can we determine percentage of reduction in inter-electronic repulsions? How much percentage of reduction takes place? Basically, we are going to discuss that thing. Now see, we have a metal ion and we have a free ligand in gaseous state, and when they form a complex, there occurs reduction in inter-electronic repulsions. That reduction in inter-electronic repulsions, that's called a Nephel auxetic effect, or simply we will write it N effect. That's called a Nephel auxetic effect or N effect. Now on what factors does this N effect depend? For example, if in the examination we are given 3, 4, 5 ligands, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, sulfur, iodine, we have to tell which one will have large value of Neffel-oxidic effect. Now see, Neffel-oxidic effect basically it depends upon softness of the ligand. The more soft the ligand is, it's actually hot acid base concept. From hot acid base concept, you may know that what is soft acid, what is soft base, what is hard acid, what is hard base. The size of the ions determines the hard and softness. The larger the ion, the more soft it is. So we know that sulfur is more soft. It is more soft, and fluorine is a hard ligand. It's a hard ligand. Now see, Neffel-oxidic effect is directly proportional to the Neffel-oxidic effect of an ion. It is directly proportional to its soft nature. Soft nature means from here we can conclude that sulfur is more soft in nature. Sulfur will have high value of Neffel-oxidic effect than iodine, which will have more than bromine, which will have more than chlorine, which will have more than fluorine. Now see, basically a series has been developed in which the effect of these ions have been arranged in the increasing order of Neffel-oxidic effect. That series is Neffel-oxidic effect. Neffel-oxidic effect. Fluorine, we have water, we have ammonia, we have ethylene diamide, we have oxalato, we have NCS, we have CN, we have chlorine, we have bromine, we have iodine, and we have sulfur. Neffel-oxidic effect of fluorine is small compared to water, compared to ammonia, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this, and then this. This is the order of Neffel-oxidic effect. We are going to define here one more term that's called a beta. We are going to determine here one more term that's called a beta. This beta is inversely proportional to N effect. It's inversely proportional to N effect. Means the ligand which is having more N effect will have smaller beta value. Now see, sulfur is having more N effect, therefore its beta value is small. Means in this series we are arranging these ligands in the order of increasing N effect. But what will the order of beta? Beta for fluorine will be more because it is having small, fluorine is having small N effect, therefore its beta is more. So हम यहाँ पे what we are going to do, this series in this way the order will be more beta order. This is beta order. Fluorine will have higher beta value and this will indicate N effect order. N effect order. Now see, beta is inversely proportional to N effect. N effect is reduction in inter-electron repulsions. The more the N effect, the more will be reduction in inter-electron repulsions. And beta is inversely proportional to this. This beta measures inter-electron repulsion. It measures inter-electron repulsion. Inter-electron repulsion. And this measures reduction in inter-electron repulsion. Reduction in inter-electron repulsion. Inter-electron repulsion. These are two different terms. One is reduction in inter-electron repulsion and the other is inter-electron repulsion. Now see, beta of fluorine, it is more. Beta of fluorine is more than that of, for example, chlorine, which is more than that of bromine, which is more than that of iodine. If beta of fluorine is more, it will cause more inter-electronic repulsions. By inter-electronic repulsions, I mean the overlapping between the metal and the fluorine, it will not be a good overlap. A good overlap, I mean that it will not be a perfect covalent bond. It will have more ionic character. Now see, more softer the ligand is, more is percentage covalent character. Therefore, if we try to arrange these ligands in the order of increasing soft nature, iodine is more softer compared to bromine, compared to chlorine, compared to fluorine. Now see, iodine is more softer. The more soft the ligand is, more is covalent character. What I mean by this, when metal forms bond with the iodine, more covalent character. When metal forms bond with the iodine, that will be having more covalent character compared to metal forming bond with a fluorine. In this case, there will be more ionic character. More ionic character means whenever we have a hard ligand, there will be more ionic character. And when we have more ionic character, there will be more inter-electron repulsion. And when we have more inter-electron repulsion, there will be less reduction in inter-electron repulsion. Basically, we are going to determine this beta value in this lecture. Now see, we have cleared over here concept. What is now Nephel-oxidic effect? It is reduction in inter-electron repulsion. How can we determine which ion has more reduction? It depends upon the softness of the ligand. The more soft the ligand is, the more covalent character that complex has. The more covalent character has, the more is the perfect overlapping. The more overlapping is, the less is inter-electron repulsions, means less is beta value. Now let us determine one more thing over here. So in 2016, a question was asked, arrange the following in the order of increasing beta value. That's inter-electron repulsion, not N effect, but in beta value. We were given fluorine, and we were given their NCS, and we were given chlorine and bromine, perhaps these four. So beta is inter-electron repulsion. If we know N effect of bromine is more, then chlorine, then NCS, then fluorine. The greater N effect, smaller is beta value. Therefore, beta value of fluorine is more than NCS, then chlorine, then bromine. The same question may be asked, arrange them in the order of increasing N effect. If it is asked N effect, then bromine will have more N effect, then chlorine, then NCS, then fluorine. Now see, one more important point from this, we can determine percentage reduction in electronic repulsions. Percentage reduction in electronic repulsions. Basically, questions in GATE have been asked on this formula, percentage reduction. That is B0 minus B divided by B0. You have to remember this formula, B0 minus B divided by B0. It is equal to KH into, it's equal to K into H. K into H. Now what is this K and what is this H? K value is particular value for a particular metal ion. For example, you are making a complex of Fe3 plus with a fluorine ion with F negative gaseous phase. Now whenever a complex is formed, we get a complex, for example, like this Fe F6 3 minus. Now this complex, this is a free ion, there is inter-electron repulsion. This is complex, there is less inter-electron repulsion, there is reduction in inter-electron repulsion. That reduction is called a Nephel-oxidic effect, and that reduction depends upon Rocca parameter B. This is Rocca parameter, and that reduction also depends upon the nature of the metal ion. That metal ion has a constant for a particular complex, that is value of K, and that depends upon the nature of the ion ligand, that has a particular value, that's value of H. Now see, what is B dot and B? B naught is Rocca parameter of free metal ion, and B is Rocca parameter when it is complexed. B naught is of free metal ion, and B is when it is complexed. So we are going to determine here percentage reduction. Percentage reduction can be determined knowing the value of K and H. Basically, an examiner can give you K and H value of metal ions, and you will be asked to determine reduction. Now let us do question based on this. We have a question over here. Estimate the reduction in inter-electron repulsions in going from Fe3 plus ion to Fe F6 3 minus ion. बेसिकली ये हमारा फ्री आयन है इन गैसेस फेज, ये हमारा कॉम्प्लेक्स आयन है. हमें एस्टिमेट करना है रिडक्शन इन इंट्रा इलेक्ट्रॉन रिपल्शन, बिकॉज इन फ्री आयन देयर इज रिडक्शन इंट्रा इलेक्ट्रॉन रिपल्शन, देयर आर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक रिपल्शंस. In free ion there are electronic repulsions, and when it forms a complex, what happens? Electronic repulsion is reduced. Now how much they reduce, that difference, that reduction, that's called N effect. Then we have to determine percentage in the reduction of inter-electronic repulsions. Now percentage reduction can be determined B naught minus B divided by B naught is equal to K into H. K and H are given for this. So the K and H values are given. For iron we have a K value 0.24. For Fe 3 plus value of K is 0.24, and for fluorine it is 0.8. For F negative it is 0.8. Now substituting the values, it will be 0.24 into 0.8. Now that will be equal to 8 4s are 32, 8 2s are 16, 17, 18, 19, 19, 0.192. We have to determine it in terms of percentage, therefore it will be 19, almost approximately 19%. This is how you have to solve questions based on Neffel-Oxytic effect. This was very important concept from which questions may be asked in your competitive exams, in your MSc entrance exam, in your GATE exam, in your CSIR DET exam and IIT JAM exam. This was lecture first, and I'll discuss 50 or 60 topmost important lectures from which questions are mostly asked, so that you can you may get 4 marks, 12 to 15 questions. Thanks for watching.